And welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
And I am Stacey Earlywine, trying to man the mute button.
There we go. We are all set. We have a really super fun show planned today. Just like always, we love to talk about old things and history, and we have pulled some really cool old newspaper articles today that we're going to discuss. So it's going to be fun.
It is a fun show because it's like when you read the articles, you're like, oh my, it's just so different than what we read today.
It is, yes.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot to dive into. So
Yeah.
So, I like your outfit today. That's a really cute shirt.
Thanks. You look pretty, too. I like the orange.
I like orange.
Yeah, that's like your favorite color, right?
Orange is my favorite color.
Uh-huh.
Orange is number 1. Yellow is number 2.
Okay. Mine is purple number 1 and red number 2.
Yeah,
sometimes I do red number 1 and then purple number 2.
You're the old hat lady.
Yeah, the red and the purple.
Red and purple.
What was the name of that group? The
Red Hat Lady Club, wasn't it?
Red Hat Society.
Red Hat Society.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Beth, I got to tell you, really fun. So when I was working for Paul Mitchell, I educated with them for 10 years, and I would fly to Vegas and Chicago and all this stuff, and go to and teach classes. You have not lived until you've been on an airplane. Literally out there was a Paul Mitchell convention in Vegas at the same time as there was the Red Hat Lady Society.
Oh, no.
So literally the plane was full of women like myself, women and men like myself dressed in all black, and all the red hats.
Oh, fun.
It was the best plane ride of my life.
Yeah, that would be
great.
Cool.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, one of my customers, Phyllis Moore, she was in that organization, and she actually gave me all those red hats I have.
Yeah,
Phyllis gave
red and purple. Did that whole thing kind of fizzle out, or are they still around?
I think it fizzled out a smidge.
What did they do anyway? I mean, I know they wore red hats with purple
ribbons. I think they just got
ribbons.
Together and ate breakfast or lunch and just had fun.
Well, nothing wrong with that. I like to have fun.
I know. I do too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Yes.
But, Red Hat Ladies, fun times.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about our ad today. So before I've been pulling ads out of magazines.
Yeah.
But today I got a bunch of newspapers that we have. And so I've been pulling local ads. Why not?
Why not?
Let's do local ads of the past.
What did you find for today?
Oh, let's see here. There we go.
Ooh.
Careful consideration. The care of your eyesight is something that should receive your most careful consideration. Do not wait until your eyes start to hurt. Have them examined now and keep them from hurting. Special sale. This is why I picked this one.
Okay.
Special sale of shell rim frames for those wearing round lenses on next Friday and Saturday, and all the following week. We will fit your lenses in the newest Acton shell rim frames for only $2.85.
Oh my goodness, what a deal.
Right? This is a very stylish medium weight frame and is guaranteed. Remember, $2.85 for 8 days only. We can reset your lenses in 10 minutes. No waiting. R.J. Cunningham, registered optometrist. Yeah, $2.85. Wow. So I don't wear glasses.
We talked about him, right? He was the
Cunningham.
son. Yeah, Mr. Cunningham's son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because Mr. Cunningham owned Cunningham Jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, $2.85. I'm just gonna say that I went and got new glasses this past week because I don't normally wear glasses, but I do wear reading glasses occasionally, and when I'm doing hand sewing and stuff. And so I had to get a new pair because I lost the old pair, and they were more than $2.85.
Yeah, they were probably $285.
They were more than $285, but that's because I kind of got a fancier pair, and I did.
But they're just for reading glasses?
I did the progressive glasses, so like I can leave them on all the time if I want, and then the top part is just clear. So I don't have to push them down on my nose, and I don't have to constantly go up on my head.
That's what
I just look through the top part regularly if I want, and then when I look down, it's the reading glasses.
See, because mine are like $1 from the Dollar Tree, so I'm like this.
Uh-huh.
And then I can see perfectly here. Then I look up above mine. Mine are always right there.
Yeah.
I don't like anything. If I'm not using mine, even with sunglasses, mine are always up on my head. I don't like to. I don't really like to have a lot of Hurts my ears. I must have a big head.
Well, so the main reason I'm doing it is because when I work from home. I have an at-home office. I work for a website. And so when I'm on the computer, I have like a big monitor in front of me that I don't need my reading glasses for. But then I have things down in front of me, my keyboard, and then papers that I'm looking at that I need my reading glasses for. So when I'm working, I would be going up and down, 500 times.
Yeah.
Within 20 minutes. So it's just easier when I'm working, typing, to have my progressive lenses anyway. That's a long story that I did not make short. It was just a long story of why I bought progressive lenses.
Well, then who was it? Who was it the other day that had like the cheaters that changed for outside, like for sunglasses too? Were you with me?
It was not me, and I was not there, but that's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that's it. She's like, oh yeah, they're my cheaters, and I just.
The really cool thing about cheaters is you can get them in so many cool, funky, fun colors.
Oh, yeah. Cheaters are like pacifiers used to be. They're all over my house.
Yes.
I love them. I literally go buy the 2.5. I go Dollar Tree. I'll buy 20 pair at one time. They're everywhere because I lose them. Because I'm just weird that way.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in.
Yeah, let's talk about
We have a whole lot of stuff.
We do. Feel like I have a lot to cover, and most of the ones I pulled are from. All of the ones I pulled are from Florida newspapers, but not every story was a local story, but it was still worthy of being talked about.
Yeah, they're fun. They're just fun. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to let you start.
Can I start with one? Okay.
You start with
one.
This
was in 1951, okay? This was in the Florida Daily News Record, which ran local news, but it also ran state news and national news if it was a big story. But this one was on the second page, and it totally caught my eye because I was like, what is happening here? The headline is 13-year-old girl admits beating and slugging boys. This happened in St. Paul, Minnesota, but it made the Florida paper in 1951. But how it's written is very interesting. Because when I read the title, I'm like, she was probably self-defense. She was probably, those boys were being bullies or something.
Well, sure.
And I don't think so. I think she's nuts. Okay.
You think she's just mean?
Uh-huh. This is what it says. A cop-hating 13-year-old girl has admitted that she beat a small boy almost to death with a rock, slugged two others with a lead pipe.
What on earth?
Sounds like Clue, the board game. And sold blackjacks for 50 cents each, police said today. What, blackjack? Is that
a card game?
I think it's a firework or something.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Firecracker? Okay. Police Chief Charles Tierney said the girl arrested yesterday gave herself away recently when she wrote an anonymous note to the police telling how she waylaid 6-year-old James Bruce last November the 18th. Okay. This is typical, I think, of like serial killers and mean people that they write anonymous notes like they almost want. They're bragging. They're bragging. They're proud of themselves. She beat and kicked the boy so severely that police believed he had been struck by a car.
Holy cow!
Officers.
How old was this kid?
She's 13.
13?
Officers had searched in the intervening months for a hit-and-run driver. So the police had been out looking for a hit-and-run driver, and instead it was this 13-year-old neighbor girl that was mean. In her note to police, the girl boasted that she had a crooked nose, the word killed tattooed on her hand, that she carried knives, and I hate cops. She was held for a mental examination. Yeah, I'd say so.
I think so.
The Bruce boy suffered a double skull fracture and painful bruises and lacerations. He spent a month in the hospital. The girl also told of a beating with two other children with a lead pipe and of selling blackjacks to youngsters. No wonder that made national news. This is like before there were school shootings, there were still crazy kids out there.
Oh, please.
And that were begging for attention. Yeah. And
bullies have been around since the beginning of time.
That's right.
Crazy people, nothing's changed.
She wanted to beat this kid to death, and she used a rock. So
that's evil.
Sorry, but I don't usually get political, but I am I'm not for gun control. So
I'm not either.
Yeah, so it's like evil people are out there. They will use whatever means they have. If they don't have a gun, they will use a rock.
Agreed.
Or a lead pipe in the library.
Or a candlestick.
So that one got me all riled up.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but let's do a happy one. Do you have a happy one?
Okay, this is a funny one.
Okay.
Wayne Harris's car looks like new. This is from August 1930. The W.E. Harris Buick car, which had been painted a blue, has changed color until it looks like a real new car. The changed appearance is due to the coat of brown lacquer by Ben Rao at the Rao Service Garage. And Ben takes a good deal of pride, and Wayne has had many compliments on his new car.
And that was probably front page news.
It was definitely there.
I guess not many people back then painted their car.
I wouldn't think so. Oh gosh, my convertible. I mean, I had Brent Bailey painted my convertible. Yowza! It's this. It's called Candy Tangerine. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I don't drive very often, but I love it.
I know.
Yeah, how fun. Yeah, but so Wayne Harris it's not the Wayne Harris that I know, because this would make him really, really old. It was W.E. Harris, but his name was Wayne. How fun is that one?
That's a good one.
I like that one.
That's a good one. Okay, here's one. This one is from 1915, March the 25th of 1915. So it's just starting to be spring, and Flora has some really exciting news on the front page.
Uh-oh.
The headline reads, Flora to have paved streets. 1915, okay? Last Thursday, a contract was awarded to Sell and Collar of Pana, Illinois, to have 4 blocks of streets on North Avenue paved. The paving will start at the Springfield Division tracks of the B&O Railroad, which I believe that's right there by Huck's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the depot is, but those tracks are the ones I think that ran north and south.
I think you're right.
And then it will continue west to Sycamore Street. The contract calls for 50 feet of paving the entire width of the 2 middle blocks, including the public square in all intersections, and 40 feet wide paving for the other 2 blocks. So that was pretty big news. It says the work is to start early in April and is to be finished by July the 1st. Get this part. After waiting and hoping for 40 years, this important and long-needed improvement is to be made. It seems almost too good to be true, but it is, and the paving is now a fixed fact. They waited 40 years for paved streets, and it's like they're in disbelief. It's actually
happening.
That's pretty cool. So 1915, folks, is when Flora got the first paved streets, and that was North Avenue. 4 blocks of North Avenue.
I'll do another quick one before we go to commercial break. This is from 1932. What Flora needs: the immense number of people who were in Flora Tuesday and Wednesday shows Flora the necessity of having a hall or tabernacle with a seating capacity of at least 1,000 people.
What were they gathered for?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says, but there was an immense number of people in Flora on Tuesday and Wednesday. But did we ever get a hall or a tabernacle?
Maybe they mean a large church that could seat that many.
I don't know.
I don't think there is anywhere that could seat that many, honestly.
1,000 people? Probably not. Let's think about that while we take a commercial break.
We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, Give me all your guns, too.
John Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we are discussing old news clippings and funny things that we have found in old Flora newspapers. Some of them are pretty fantastic.
They are pretty fantastic. I've got one here that says, go to church and get acquainted with your clergyman. He's not a bad sort. I can't be a hypocrite, who was the ready excuse of one man when asked why he didn't attend church. I know that I am not a righteous and that I cannot practice what the church preaches. There is hope for this man. He is the kind of the church wants. If he is not righteous, he is not happy. Let him acquire the habit of going to church, and he will get a broader, better, happier view of life. We cannot all be saints, but surely a man can forget the temptations of the world for 1 hour or 1 day each week. At least for the hour or so that he is in church, he can really think over the big things in life. Let him listen to the Word of God and do his best. Of course, there are some persons in every community who will criticize as freely the man who goes to church as the man who stays away. No man goes to church can be a hypocrite long. Deep down in his heart, he knows that he can. He cannot sell God a gold brick if originally he goes to church solely to make a good impression with his neighbors. And this is to be encouraged. Eventually, he will find that he is gradually being led to the right sort of life. It is easy to acquire the go-to-church habit. Try it one Sunday. When another Sabbath, they split Sabbath. When another Sabbath rolls around, you'll feel a pang of remorse if you don't go again. Get acquainted with your clergyman. You'll find that he is not a bad sort. Talk to him. If you have any criticism of the church or its methods, don't talk about it on the outside, but tell him. He'll meet you halfway. None realizes more than he how hard it is to just work up an interest in religious affairs among some people. But give him a chance and give church a chance. Go to church once, then go again.
Wow, and that was right there in the paper. That's something you would probably see today.
No, we don't.
Anyone. So this headline was called "The Old Hen Ahead." Okay.
Okay, now I'm interested.
The Old Hen Ahead.
Okay.
This is front page news, right front and center of a Flora paper in 1915.
The Old Hen.
Yeah. Speaking of early spring chickens, Elder W. Marlowe states that his Natural Simple Incubator, and that's all capitalized like it's a product, Natural Simple Incubator, and then it says the hen. They're calling the hen the Natural Simple Incubator. Okay. The hen hatched a brood of 17 fine young chicks in February, 8 days ahead of the hatching by the Simplicity Incubator of the Meeker Hardware Company. This, he contends, make the old-fashioned incubator an easy winner over the new one. So he's saying his hen is a much better incubator than the new ones that are now available for sale at the hardware store.
Okay, there you go.
Mr. Marlowe does not wish to be understood as criticizing the work of the new Simplicity Incubator, but contends that his incubator possesses certain natural attributes, which, for sure, quick work and quality are far superior to the new plan. I thought that was hilarious, calling his hen the Natural Simple Incubator.
That's funny.
Like he named it.
You know, what's funny about these newspapers is nothing's off limits. So I love, these are some of the greatest swings. Miss Zoe Friend entertains. Zoe Friend entertains a number of friends at the home of her parents, Mrs. and Mr. T.J. Friend. Friday evening in honor of Miss Pearl Dillman of Sailor Springs. Those attending being the Miss, and then it just goes through a ton of names. It's hard to, but basically, so like if you throw a tea party, it's
Yeah, it was like the social, everything social was in there. It was like what Facebook is today. And I wish we still had newspapers like this where people just shared things and it was well written.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Unless you're going out of town, because like if Jim's going out of town, it's like don't be putting that on Facebook. I don't want everybody to know. But personal mention: Mrs. Effie Hogan and Sons will spend Sunday in Metropolis.
Oh, okay, good for them.
Mrs. Lorena Ricketts, violinist, and Eleanor Mann, pianist, gave 3 numbers of the Women's Foreign Missionaries Society annual meeting in Louisville Sunday night.
I love that. So, and also it was common for each little neighborhood, not really neighborhood, but like area, like town, they had their own news column. So like there was ones that said, you know,
Sailor
like Blair
Springs,
Township, Sailor Springs,
Songer
Louisville,
Town.
Clay City, Songer. I was going through and I saw one and it was called the Go Slow Corner.
Huh?
And they had their own, I don't know where that is. They had their own news section in the Florida newspaper, the Go Slow Corner. Where is the Go Slow Corner? What area is that? That's what I want to know.
I don't
know.
know.
If you know the answer to that, email us at, by the way, bethandstacey@gmail.com.
Can I?
Yeah.
You got one? Do you want to read real quick?
I got one.
You read yours and I'm going to read about the next
This one I thought was interesting because I always like hearing about like women's clubs or girls clubs or things like this. This was called the You Need a Rest Club. You Need a Rest Club. Girls, and the UNEDA was one word, UNEEDA, the UNEDA Rest. They were celebrating their 2nd anniversary at the home of Miss Mamie Cheney Saturday night. These girls all look like they're about in high school.
I was going to say, yeah.
March 13th by a banquet in honor of St. Patrick's Day. The house was beautifully decorated in Irish green and white, and the color scheme was carried out in the delicious luncheon. The following menu was served by Miss Bernice Valbert. Fruit cocktails, creamed chicken, mashed potatoes, biscuits,
Yum!
olives, okay, you lost me there, coffee, banana salad, cheese sticks, salted pecans, brick ice cream, and cake. It was white cake with green shamrock, and then nuts.
Wow.
Miss Mamie Cheney, president of the club, read a letter of regret from Colonel Smith, and between courses, several toasts to the club was given. The fortune of each one present, and the winners of each presented with prizes. So it goes through and names all the things they're doing. And then the next important meeting of the club will be the annual camp out on the Wabash, a time always looked forward to with pleasure by the club members and friends.
Huh.
So it sounds like a fun little, almost like Girl Scouts before there was Girl Scouts.
I wonder what their cheese sticks were.
I don't know.
Not deep fried mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, well, that menu wasn't just anything to be.
No, the menu sounds delightful, and they probably served it on like the
that
china
that
from
china.
that was in that ad we talked about
From the Friends, Mr. Friends,
yes,
or from Scudamore's.
Okay, I have a scandalous one. What you want to go next?
Well, I want to do my lost buggy found in pasture.
Okay.
Seth DeVore finds vehicle.
Oh my gosh, that was my great grandpa. I'm not kidding.
It was.
It was my great grandpa, I think.
Seth DeVore finds vehicle in Frank Valvert's pasture. So your great grandfather, Seth DeVore, who had his buggy stolen about 2 months ago, and which was advertised in the Record. At the time, was discovered by Mr. DeVore Monday in Frank Valvert's wood pasture. The vehicle had been newly painted and new shelves added, all of which Mr. DeVore is truly thankful for. The weeds had grown up around it, which is quite evident that the party who stole it had placed it there thinking that it would never be discovered. The buggy is in much better shape than when it was stolen, and Mr. DeVore would like to meet the aforesaid gentleman who purloined, goodness, these are big words, who purloined his vehicle and give him the glad hand for his kindness in furnishing the outfit with repairs and a fresh coat of paint.
That is the best thing ever. That is hilarious. I want to keep that one. You'll have to make me a copy of that.
Yeah.
Oh, crack up.
But I wondered if DeVore, I'm like, well, you're DeVore, you know.
Yeah. We talked about him a little bit on another episode. He had a daughter that died at age 17 of the flu or something. I don't remember.
Okay, let's do some scandal now that we did that one. That was fun.
Okay, this one, Fred H. Coyle found dead. Dun, dun, dun! And sadly, I cut off the year on this, but I think it was I think this one was 1915 too. Okay, here's the story. This entire community was greatly shocked when the news reached Flora Saturday that the body of Fred Coyle, that's C-O-I-L, had been found in an old orchard near Olney. The discovery was made late Friday evening and reported to the coroner of Richland County, who at once went to the place where the body was found in the last stages of decomposition, indicating that death had occurred sometime 10 days before. Owing to this condition of the body, no wounds or evidence of violence could be seen, even if they had existed. A small pocket knife was found nearby with both blades open and blood stained. The inquest failed to reveal the cause of death and whether it was an act of self-destruction or one of violence will no doubt remain a mystery. For months, Mr. Coyle has been in poor health and recently took treatment at the Weber Sanitarium. I think that's what they called the early hospital in Olney. He seemed to be improved, but his friends noticed at times he was melancholy, but had no apprehension of serious consequences. In fact, it was hoped and believed that he would be restored to health. The relatives and friends of Mr. Coyle are reluctant to believe that he took his own life, nor do they advance the theory of foul play, but are somewhat mystified over money they knew that he had in his possession. On his last visit to Flora on May 29th, he gave his sister $300 in the form of a check and $20 in money, and had at the time another check for $175. No trace of this check has been found, nor any money or articles of value found on his person. This fact leaves the impression that death was the result of foul play, or that the body was discovered and robbed by someone who feared to give the alarm. He was born in Flora in December 1878. So he's found dead in the orchard with a pocket knife open, both blades open, and they're both bloody. And his body is so decomposed and nasty, they can't tell what happened. But who on earth kills themselves with a pocket knife?
Nobody.
Unless he slit his wrist with it, maybe.
Suicide. She stabbed herself 47 times.
I think it was suspicious.
I'm calling foul play.
I'm calling foul play too, especially if he had been in kind of melancholy. It makes it sound like he was sort of maybe out of it a little bit. Maybe had some mental issues going on. Makes him a good target for someone to rob him. Especially if they knew he had money on him.
Yeah, no.
I'm calling for a cold case investigation into that. Please, let's do some DNA.
You know, I had heard through the grapevine that Illinois was starting to start doing a lot of Southern Illinois cold cases. There are a lot of deaths that need to be investigated down here.
I would love for that to happen. I doubt they go all the way back to 1915 for Fred Coyle, though. But you never know.
I don't know. I love that. Did you ever watch the TV show Cold Case?
I love
Cold Case.
Yeah.
It's great. You'd love it because it goes back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what we need to do?
Take a break.
Take a commercial.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be. Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County, Farmers Mutual Insurance.
And welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are going over old newspaper clippings from Clay County.
Yes.
So fun. So we did some fun ones, and then there's some serious ones. But here's one that I find interesting. Mrs. Sarah Higginson injured. A team of mules driven by Albert Carroll became frightened at a baby buggy crossing the street Saturday evening and started to run away at the corner of 2nd and Elm Street, but were halted when the driver guided them into a tree. Mrs. Sarah Higginson, one of the occupants, was thrown out of the wagon and suffered a broken collarbone.
Oh, no.
Dr. W.F. Fairchild attended her injuries. So you got a team of mules with pulling a carriage. Baby buggy startles the mules.
Yes.
They took off going crazy. But what does he guide? It said he guided it, the coachman guided it into a tree. Like the horse, so I'm assuming.
I don't know. Did the mules take off from the wagon, become detached, and then he guided the wagon into the tree?
Into the tree, and then Mrs. Higginson came on out.
Oh, my goodness. So that would have happened just north of Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Just back there a block.
That's Second and Elm.
Second and Elm. Back there by the bank, savings bank.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, how fun would that be?
Yeah, poor thing. Well, at least it wasn't worse than that. I mean, you can recover from a broken collarbone, but it could have been, what if she would have broken her back or something back then? Well, here's an interesting story. This is another one that ran in our paper. It was in the Flora paper, the Daily News Record, January the 23rd, 1948. It did not happen here. It happened over in Goshen, Indiana, though, which is it's a little further east than Benson's, I believe. The headline is Amish Bishop Held After Daughter Found in Chains. A grim, white-bearded bishop of the Old Order Amish Church maintained today that he had done no wrong in keeping his 41-year-old daughter roped and chained to a filthy bed in an unlighted room for the last 10 years.
What?
I'm not going to read the whole article because it's horrible. But, so this happened, and he didn't believe that he did anything wrong because his daughter was demented, and he only dealt with her in accordance with Amish custom. He had denied that he did any wrong.
So he probably thought he
went to jail.
Good. But he probably thought she had a demon. Mm-hmm. 10 years, you said?
10 years he held her in a dark, unlit room, chained to a bed. Now, where was the rest of the family, and why did this... abuse happened... Long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's been around.
There's still abuse today, and there are at least there are agencies out there
there was nothing
to deal
then.
with it. Nothing.
Yeah.
No help back then. You were stuck.
That is actually.
Yeah. But on the same page was another story that I thought was kind of a cute one, and it happened in Decatur. It said Decatur pilot has license suspended. Robert Sorrell, 31, Decatur pilot, faced a 15-day flying license suspension after he was charged for violating air rules. Mark Cooper, Springfield Chief Inspector, charged that Sorrell executed spins over Lake Decatur while carrying a passenger without a parachute. So he was out there just playing doing all these spins all over the lake. And, I guess that was against air rules. He lost his license.
Yeah, probably was a little bit.
But he had a great day, though.
There you go.
Oh, gosh.
I have an article from 1925. Interclass Indoor Carnival. A big interclass meet and carnival has been scheduled for the high school for Friday night beginning at 7:30. A number of track events will be run besides other novel stunts. This will be one of the most entertaining nights of the season at the high school gym, Flora High School.
Oh, fun.
A carnival. I'm trying to figure out, what novel stunts there would have been done.
I don't know. Interesting.
Wow.
Novel stunts.
Mr. and Mrs. E.G. Brighton will leave Saturday for a week's stay in Cleveland, Ohio, with their daughter, Mrs. Fred Croft, and family. Okay, so your house is...
So your house is empty, so I'll stop by there and have lunch, and I will take all of your china and fine silver. Thanks so much for putting that on the front page of the paper.
Let's do some. You do another one, and then we'll do some of the interesting death.
Okay, yeah, because I got a couple of those. Okay, this was the front page. Like I said, sometimes they did run national news. This was on the front page of the Daily News Record, the Florida Daily News Record. And the date is important here, March the 29th of 1939. So you know what's happening overseas in 1939.
Yeah, 1939.
The headline is, Poland is given assurance of Nazi friendship. We all know how this ended. The German government has given reassurances of the stability of relations with Poland, which is concerned lest the Nazi expansionist program turn to Polish spheres of influence, diplomatic sources said today. The position of Poland, meanwhile, is to keep intact non-aggression pacts with Germany and Soviet Russia. So it goes on to talk about how Poland's trying to keep the peace. They're concerned that the Nazis are going to try to take over Poland. The Germans are saying, "Oh no, we don't want Poland." Let me find a quote here. It says, Poland stood for the principle of independence, and that to keep this principle, this is the quote, to keep this principle, we have to keep those pacts with Russia and Germany and Poland, and that is why Poland will not be drawn into any aggression. So Germany's saying we won't do that. We shall stand firm and independent against anybody. This is what Poland said. We shall stand firm and independent against anybody, though a storm touches our frontier. The Polish nation is calm. Anyway, there was just a lot of sad quotes in there about how Poland was concerned and Germany is reassuring them, honey,
yes.
No, it's fine. We're not going to come over to Poland. You guys are good.
Yeah, we're not coming after your blonde, blue-eyed children.
Yeah, and
wow.
That was March 29th, 1939. I do not know the date when Poland was invaded, but I do believe it was pretty early. Ty can look it up.
Ty's going to look that up,
I feel like Poland was invaded either in late 39 or 40.
It wasn't very long
it was
after
early.
that.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
So September the 1st of 1939 is when Poland was invaded. So March the 29th of 1939 is when they're reassuring them. So
right.
6 months later, or however many months,
6
I didn't
months.
count them. There.
So, no, we won't leave. Yeah, we have my mother-in-law is Polish, and
how sad.
Oh boy, them Nazis just
I know.
me.
Reading any of the news headlines from those years, it's gut wrenching.
I can't
pull out these old newspapers and see all this,
and
then know how it ended.
I can read a lot about all history, but the Holocaust is something that I just can't get past.
The Holocaust and slavery both make me so sick to my stomach. I know it's important to study it because it's part of history, and you don't want it to repeat itself. But it's sickening.
I'm going one step further. I think the Holocaust is the biggest monstrosity that ever happened to a group of people. Mm-hmm. I think it's by far worse than anything else that's ever happened in the history of the world.
Well, I don't know. There was some serious stuff, biblical times, that also happened to large groups of people.
I just think, I don't think it gets any worse than the Holocaust.
No,
that is the most
evil.
That is the most evil group of people I've ever. Yes. I just think a lot of them smuggled and lived over here, like that main hitman of Hitler's was over here. A lot of them didn't get caught, and they lived over here. I
didn't know any of that.
Mm-hmm. I was on. I can't remember, but I don't know.
Yeah, have you seen that one video that floats around the internet of this man? And apparently he was smuggling children out of Poland, not Jewish children. He was smuggling them out, and he ended up saving a whole bunch of lives. But anyway, years later, in the early 80s, they invited him to this live filming of a TV show or something, and he was sitting in the audience, and they said something about the war, and they wanted to honor somebody, and the lady next to him they didn't know each other, and she reached over and she grabbed a hold of him and told him who she was and thanked him and said, I was one of the children who you saved. And he had tears in his eyes because she was a full-grown adult, probably in her 30s or 40s. And then the host says something else, and then the person on the other side of him grabs his other arm and says, I was there too. I was one of the children you saved. Thank you. The host of the TV shows says, is there anybody else in the audience whose life was saved by this man who was a child during the war that he smuggled out? Every single person in that studio audience stood up. They had invited all
Wow.
look it up on YouTube, you guys.
I'm going
to. They had invited all of the children that he saved to this broadcast. He had no idea any of them were there, let alone however many there were, over 100 probably. And I mean, the tears were flowing, and he got a standing ovation, and it was beautiful. Ooh, gives me chills.
It does give me chills. I can't even can't study the Holocaust. I can just dive into it. So if I can only dive in so far,
and then you're out,
and then I'm out. Like once again, biggest monstrosity.
Yes,
I'm going to even say even over biblical times. I just don't know how it can get any worse than that, but it did.
Yeah. Okay,
and that's part of history.
Right.
We need to know it.
Yep.
Let's see, what else do we got here? At 1925, Mrs. Kate Ingalls dies suddenly late Monday. Death came unexpectedly as Mrs. Ingalls was seated in a chair at her telephone.
Oh, bless her heart.
Mrs. Kate Ingalls, 62 years old, died of heart trouble at her home, 947 North Washington Street at 5:16. I love this, 5:16 o'clock.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of places too.
Monday afternoon.
What was the address and who lives there now? They were like, uh-oh.
Well, let's see. It's 947 North Washington.
Okay.
But we don't have North Washington.
Yeah, that's weird.
They go east and west, so it must not be. It's Clay County paper, so.
Okay.
Mrs. Ingalls was in her usual good health and was sitting in a chair using the telephone when she was stricken. Dr. E.A. Heibner was called, but Mrs. Ingalls was dead before he arrived.
Oh.
Let's see.
I mean, if you got to go, sometimes sudden is better.
Mrs. Ingalls was a member of the Baptist Church and a sincere Christian woman. She was loved and respected by all who knew her.
I bet the North is just a typo. I bet they meant either East or West Washington.
Probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's interesting. Let's talk a little bit more about somebody, and we hate to.
Some of the headlines when they announced somebody's death blew me away. How they would say it. So one of them said, "John Cassidy answers final summons."
Yeah,
like to me, that's just. And then they go on to read his, to type out his obituary or whatever. But like these days, our obituaries that run in the paper don't have a headline other than the person's name.
Yeah. Right.
And back then that was different. Whoever wrote these, they felt like they had to be real creative, each one, and they're like, well, I used the final summons last week, so this week I'm going to use the Reaper came for her.
I know. I know.
Like they
crazy.
It just.
I don't know. It is funny. Here's one. Aged woman has answered roll call.
Oh, how old was she? 52?
The funeral, 86. The funeral of Mrs. Elizabeth Fitzgerald, age 86 years old, who died at the home of her son-in-law, Oscar Burgess, on East 3rd Street, March 15, 1925, was held at the home Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock, conducted by Reverend C.L. Doty, pastor of the Christian Church. The remains were taken to Iola, where interment was made. Let's take a real quick break, and we'll come back to more interesting
news clippings.
News clippings.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Rural King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Rural King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
And welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We're going to start talking really fast because we have so much more to cover and our show is almost over.
We do. Grim Reaper claims Mrs. Sarah J. Biemeyer, how you say that? Death came as a relief to Mrs. Sarah Jane about 12 o'clock Saturday, March 21st, 1925. She had been an invalid for a number of years and suffered very much. However, her death was directly due to a stroke of paralysis. She passed away at her home. The body was taken to Mill Shoals Monday morning, and the undertaker, E.D. Hancock Jr., where the funeral services were held.
That's so sad the way they were. I guess it was normal. The Grim Reaper came for her.
You know, but I kind of want a fun headline. Well, not a fun headline. But
you want one like that? Well, I'll make sure it happens.
Make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Write mine now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We should write each other's obituaries.
Let's write each other's obits right now.
Yeah,
that'd be
good.
Awesome.
Here's one I found, I thought it was kind of an interesting story. Kidnapped and robbed at Fairfield. Those Wayne County. I mean, I'm telling you what, you can go down there. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
C.L. Pendel Jr., who had been for some time manager at the Sexton Moving Picture Show in Fairfield, so he worked at the theater in Fairfield, reports an interesting kidnapping incident last Saturday night. He said Pendel, it is said, prepared to leave the Pershing Theater at the close of the show Saturday night about 11 o'clock, having arranged with a young lady friend to wait for him at the front door. The lady waited, but Pendel did not appear, and on investigation was unable to find Pendel. About 3:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, Pendel arrived in Fairfield from Mount Vernon by taxi. Pendel told the officers here that he was preparing to leave the theater. 3 men appeared with revolvers and forced him into a Ford coupe. Then drove him to Mount Vernon, where they tied him to the stand in the city park with a pair of overalls. Took his money and left him. He states that he freed himself about 2:30 o'clock and called a taxi to bring him back to Fairfield, arriving about 3:30 Fairfield. Mr. Pendel formerly assisted in Flora at the Orpheum Theater. So this either really happened, and he was supposed to meet his date at the front, and instead these masked men grabbed him, forced him with revolvers into the Ford, and drove him to Mount Vernon and tied him up in the park with a pair of overalls and took his money. That could have happened. Or he simply didn't really want to meet the girl for their late date. And stood her up, and then she sent out all the police looking for him.
Do you realize how weird your mind is?
I know, right? But and then later, police find him at 3:30 in the morning, and he tells them this big tall tale. Which story do you believe?
I'm going to go with he stood the girl up. I'm going to go with your crazy mind.
I kind of think so. I don't know.
Let's talk about band concerts. Cheney's Cyclone Band will commence a series of concerts on North Avenue to be given each Wednesday evening starting June 7th. If weather is unfavorable, concerts will be given on the following Friday. The people of Flora and surrounding towns and county are especially invited to attend and spend an evening of social enjoyment. Special services at the fountains and cafes. The businessmen, or a majority of them who have made these concerts possible, extend an invitation to the people to attend.
Oh,
I wish we had like I could really put anything else on my plate, but man,
Yeah.
a community band would be fun.
it would be fun. There's towns that do that, and they get together in the summer and play.
We
It's
did
nice.
that, Mr. Kuntz, remember when the Veterans Traveling Wall was coming through?
Yeah.
And Mr. Kuntz put a band of community people together, and we all got together, and we played patriotic songs out there. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was great. Here's another team. This is interesting to me. Team killed by lightning.
A team
of horses. John Woods of North Harder Township had a valuable team of horses killed by lightning Saturday evening. On his way home, he took shelter from the heavy rainstorm at William Wolf's, and while there, put his team in the barn.
Oh my gosh.
Shortly afterward, the barn was struck by lightning and the horses were instantly killed.
Oh my.
This barn was saved, however, by the heroic work of Mr. Woods, who soon subdued the flames. But the team of horses was inside.
Wow. Well, you can get hit by lightning inside of a building. It's rare, but
you
it
imagine?
can come in and zap you. That's why you're not supposed to take a shower during a storm.
I've always heard that. So is that real?
I don't know if it's real, but my mom told me it was, so I'm going to go with it is.
Well, yeah, I remember when it was raining. If I had two sisters, and if it was storming out, my mom would make us no showers, no bathtub.
We still tell our kids it's getting ready to storm. Go ahead and take your showers now before it storms. But have I ever?
Go ahead and get. Hey, it's lightning really hard, kids.
No.
Go get.
No, before it starts, it's like, hey, it's getting ready to storm. It's going to storm soon. Go take your shower now.
Yeah, so you don't have to.
But maybe it's just one of those stories that is passed down like from a generation. Because I'm completing it. I'm still telling my kids that,
I think
and I
it
hope
does.
that they grow up and tell their kids that. I don't care if it's true or not. Just keep the story going. But is it true? I don't know. I have never once heard of anybody that died from being struck by lightning while they were in the shower. Ty's Googling it for us.
Ty Landreth, our great. What is Ty?
He's our director and producer.
He's our director and producer, and he's wonderful.
Yes.
Because the next thing you know, he's just going to town on that
Yes.
Google.
Yep, he's going to figure it out for us. But I don't know if that's real or not real. But
I don't know either. But
I can't find any cases of it, but they say it is possible.
No cases of it have been found, but it is possible. So
well,
make
I
your
don't
own
think I'm
decision.
going to Ben Franklin it and do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to take my chances. No way.
Hey, Ty, why don't you experiment with that one?
Yeah. No, thank you. I'll just continue to shower before it storms.
So do you have anything else? Because I got some really funny.
Go ahead. No, I went through all. I have a whole book of great ones that somebody gave me.
Which is awesome.
I'm saving those for another episode.
But some of those are like going to be full
they're going to be their
episodes.
whole episode, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is just a whole cutouts of Do You Remember? So I'm going to ask you if you remember this.
Okay, probably not. I don't know.
Do you remember, Beth, when Tom Labus, Sandy Pope, Fish Buck, and S. something Wilcox played in Flora's first brass band?
I don't remember that.
You don't?
No.
Crazy. Do you remember when Flora had 3 yards where brick was made?
No. Where was that at?
Don't know. Do you remember?
I do not remember.
Do you remember when Orrin Parker, Ralph Ingram, Harvey Duff, and the Walker boys peddled apples on the platform at the depot here?
Nope.
You don't remember that?
No.
I don't understand why. Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
Hey, Beth.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the hogs and pigs wallered in the mud holes on North Avenue?
No, but was that after 1915? Because I believe it was paved in 1915.
Oh, gosh. Do you remember when the city block that the Methodist Church is on was fenced in with a rail fence?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you remember when the Flora Silver Corner wagon made in Flora by Shadwell Band had a crescent-shaped band, Law and DeWitt and YD?
You lost me. I don't know. I do not know what you're talking about. I don't remember that one.
Okay, wait a minute. When the Flora Silver Corner wagon made in Flora, they didn't use commas.
Oh, yeah. Commas are important.
Commas
people.
are very important.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try it again. When the Flora Silver Corner Wagon, made in Flora by Shadwell Band, had a crescent-shaped band, Law and DeWitt, and Y.D. McGannon played an over-shoulder tuba with rotary valves.
That one I do remember. Oh, just
Other
kidding.
musicians were Uncle Fay Yeck.
Oh, yeah. Uncle Fay, our
Yay.
fire chief. We talked about him on the episode about fire stations.
Charlie Webster, Jim Davis, George Bradford, Sam Cummins, and Charles Whitting was the leader. J.Y. Derlin played the bass drum, and Harvey Duff tried to play the snare.
He tried to play the snare drum. That's funny. Poor Harvey. He wasn't the best band member.
Everybody else was just going to town, and
poor Harvey.
Harvey Duff tried to play the snare drum. Oh my God, I love that.
Oh,
Let's
funny.
See. Ooh. Do you remember when Flora had 4 murders in one block during the days of saloons?
No, but I want to look into that.
Right? The city at one time had 7 saloons at a license fee of $1,000 each and no improvements until they were voted out. Flora had 4 murders in one block.
Where at? I mean,
What?
right down there on North Avenue? And how far apart were they in time?
Well, honey, it's only 3 lines is what. Wow.
We got to do some research on that one.
Wow.
Wowzers. A little rough place.
Do you remember that a 4-story brick mill stood on the lot now where the W.H. Duff and Mrs. Connie Coyle's homes are? Which we don't even know who.
Connie Coyle, is she married to Fred Coyle? Because he was found dead in the orchard at Olney.
Well, right. But how, I mean, that's just, and I'll save those for a lot.
Okay.
We have so many things we have to cover. But fun.
Yeah,
Those are just fun.
Those are a fun way to look back in time and see what was going on in town.
Okay, so of all my favorite is Stacey Earlywine had Beth Cooper over today for tea.
Yes.
And they sat out by the pool, darling.
And had crumpets.
And had
cucumber sandwiches.
Ooh, I love a good cucumber sandwich.
Negative.
What?
No, I don't like cucumbers.
Cucumbers. Okay, so if you look at cucumbers are good for inflammation. They're good for your eyesight. They're good for your hair, your nail. They're literally good for everything, Beth.
Preach. I know they're good.
You know, I love cucumbers. They're one of my favorites.
I don't like the taste of them. But maybe it'll happen for me still. I mean, maybe one day I will acquire a taste for cucumbers. I never thought I would acquire a taste for black olives. It took me 44 years, but I did finally manage to do it. So maybe there's hope for cucumbers.
Well, and don't you think when you get older, because I used to call macaroni salad, potato salad, all those kind of old people food.
Oh.
I used to call that old people food. But now I think your taste changes because now I love all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff.
You're old. It's official.
It's happened because I like old people food.
I like old people food too, but I even liked that food when I was little.
You did?
That's
See, I never
my
did.
kind of
I
thing.
wouldn't have touched a macaroni salad. I only started eating it about 10 years ago.
What?
Yeah, it was old
My
people.
kids also love macaroni salad. I have some in the refrigerator right now. They eat.
Yeah.
Like they need a snack, like go get you some macaroni salad.
Yeah. I like that Amish macaroni salad you get from IGA.
That's the one I bought.
Wow, that stuff's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, so let's do a little bit of this is from an unknown. So we always end our shows on rules to live by or inspirational quotes. If you do not go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you do not ask, the answer will always be no. If you do not step forward, you will always be in the same place. That one gave me chills.
I like that one. Yeah.
Wow.
That's so true.
If you do not step forward, you will always be in the same place. Oh my gosh! When Jesus is on the water, Peter stepped out of that boat. What would happen if Peter wouldn't have stepped forward?
I do not know.
Wow.
You got to
I
take
love
chances.
that one.
Take a chance. Take
That
a
was a
chance.
good
Take a
one.
chance. Take a chance.
Take a chance and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that's ABBA.
Yeah,
Take
I love,
a chance
love
on
me some ABBA.
I do too. Well, we're done.
Oh my gosh.
How
Thanks
does
for
that
joining
happen?
us again. We love doing the show and we're so happy you joined us. And we love talking about the history of Clay County and throwing in a few other things here and there. So anyway, I hope you guys will join us again next time.
God bless you. Have a great day.